Hi, from our Classic Rock Corner. Stay tuned for a guitar tutorial on Rush's Fly By Night. We shall be right back.
At String Sound Studios.
Hello, Mike Violette. In this live stream, we will concentrate on 6 concepts, which will enable you to play Fly By Night. Again, I'm Mike Violette of String Sound Studios, and glad you tuned in again. The goal of my live streams is to be educational, entertaining, and exploratory on a variety of musical topics. And we are streaming to you from multiple platforms, so this isn't just a live stream, it's a multi-stream. And I got a brand new camera, we're going to talk about that, so I could really zoom in. You can see my hand huge, and that should really help you out in these live streams, and it's helping me out in these live streams too. And got to keep working on the audio and everything else and the lighting, but we'll get there. So again, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook, and what else we on? We're on Periscope. Yes, for the best viewing, switch over to YouTube, and please sign up and hit that YouTube subscription. And check us out on Instagram, all the social media. Just look up String Sound Studios. Please join us. I do these for nothing. If you want, you could give me a donation on my website. But I love doing them, and I love, when people tune in. And I got a couple shout outs, birthdays. So we'll talk about that in a little while. But I want to get to something in this I was really pumped to do this. We missed last week, and that was kind of good because I got a real interesting story for you. We'll get to playing, but yeah, I was a big Rush fan, and I still am. And going back many, many years ago, we went to a Rush concert. So, and I was thinking, I'm doing a fly-by-night. This is my first live stream of doing a Rush. And I said, when the heck did we go to that concert? And lo and behold, I looked it up. And 44 years ago, tonight, on December 11th, I was at the Palladium in New York City with a bunch of friends. We got to be like 15 years old. I'm showing I think I was 15 years old. So, all right, you know how old I am. But I thought that was really cool. So kind of something told me to miss last week and do this week. And so we're going to get right into it, all right? Now, we're going to talk about, of course, a lot of things, and I'm going to go through them one at a time. But first, picking fingers, all right? We're going to learn how to play like that. I'm going to talk about sus4, sus2, or add 9 chords, all right? Some syncopation in here, sweep picking, and a little bit of the effects that I'm using on this. And I hope it's all sounding good. Again, keep working on the audio. The live stream, it's a lot tougher than doing a video. All right, now, first of all, picking fingers. And I'm going to zoom in here, okay? But I want you to, I'm not going to use my picking fingers right away, okay? I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to show you the chords, then zoom out, all right? And then I can show you how to do the picking fingers. Or, you don't have to do it that way. But first, let's get a little bit of our left hand going, okay? So we're going to get that left hand going. I'm going to zoom in here. This is a new feature here. Just give it a second or so. I'll hide behind the box here. Okay, so here we go. Now, I'm going to talk about these chords here. All right? See that nice and big? All right, nice and big there. So first of all, when you first open this up, okay, the chord is a D chord, just a plain old D chord. Remember, if you're new to guitar, okay? A G chord is like this, my open 4th string. Right now, of course, I'm showing you this way so you can see it. All right, that D. Then I'm on this A here. See that? Try to play as close to the fret as possible. You see here where my finger is? Not here not here, not here, if you can. It's a little bit harder with chords. Now, I would make the second finger go here on this F sharp. That would be an F sharp first, okay? And then my D is going to go here. So if you take a look at different angles here, I guess that angle's okay, okay? I'm just shifting here. Who needs different cameras, right? So what we have here is just a plain old D chord. Now I'm going to just strum the chord a minute here. Okay? And then you go to what we call, hey, okay, thank you. Okay, hey, Kelly. And then what we do is we go to this chord, which, well, we could call this chord an A sus4. Now let's take a look at that. And you want to look for common tones and common fingerings. And a common tone, that's not, I mean, there's all kinds of things in music. It's not one of my major 6 concepts to learn how to play this, okay? But we're looking for common tones and common fingerings, and this is important. You're going to switch from this G chord, the first chord, and then when we go to this A sus4 here, okay? If you notice, I keep this third finger down. It's not that hard of a switch. Doesn't have to be, okay? To sound good. It doesn't have to be to sound good. It's a great tune. Now, you notice what I do? I take this, I put it on the 4th string, okay? And you can get rid of that or hold it down. You're coming right back to it, okay? See on my second finger? You're going to come back to that because you put your 4th finger here. You're putting your 4th finger here on the 1st string. See that? So this note is not going to ring. You might want to get rid of that. Now check this out. You hold everything as much as you can until you get to that A chord, okay? But check this out here, watch. Now I'm going to play an open A, then a B, and then I go here to my C. So let's check that out again. We're going to do it from here, D chord. When you're holding that chord, you play the open A, right? Then the B. Okay, now, here's where it gets interesting with picking fingers, and it's going to be hard to zoom in and out and show you picking fingers. And you don't have to do it that way. I'll back out and show you how I do it. You could just go like this, although it is one of my 6 concepts, and you should try that. But we'll talk about that in a minute. And you can strum the chord like that, or... Now what I do is I play with these 2 fingers here, and I play the 2 high strings like that while I'm holding the pick. Let me see if I can do it from here, if that helps you, okay? See this? I play here. We'll zoom out, we'll take a look at my right hand, okay? Then you go. So what happens is, sorry, I hit my microphone there. Again. Then I go B. So we'll call this a G with a B in the bass. Oops, sorry, G with a B in the bass here. Play an open A. Okay? We want to do the open A. So we have some syncopation in here too. That's what I was talking about. So again, here, open. See how I'm holding these for the most part? It'll be here, sorry. Open A. And that's a G minor chord with a B flat in the bass. Okay? So that 4th and 3rd string are always kind of open. No, not on the C chord though. Let's take a look at that opening riff again. So we have a D chord here. Now we're going to go to an A chord. Few ways to go to an A chord. You can just do a bar like this. And let's talk a minute about that bar, okay? If you're going to do a bar, let's make sure you're doing it right, okay? We don't want to do this, go this way on the fret. We want to play it parallel to the fret like this, okay? And you don't want to help like that. You want to keep it flat, as flat. But here's the thing. If you notice what I'm doing here, okay? If you take a look at this here, all right, this is up a little bit. So if I give you from a side view, see that? I'm up a little bit. So I'm not totally like this. I'm not saying never do this. If I'm playing a chord like that and I need that first string there and I need these, I'm going to be flatter. But if I want to get an open string, see that? Let's take a look at this angle here. All right, so we have this. I'm going to go off and play that again. Get over here a little bit more. I'm hiding behind the box. You can't see me. All right, so let's do this from here. Ready? Got a G chord. A sus. Open. A. I messed up. Sorry. A. Let me back out a little bit and show you what I do with my my right hand. There's a little bit of the left hand. Okay. Give it a minute. Not back out or yet. I wish you'd zoom faster, but I think this is really cool. All right, the new camera. Hey, there's my microphone. We can't have that in the picture. Okay, I'll zoom back over here. Sorry. All right, let's take a look at what I'm doing with my pick and fingers, okay? I don't have the camera angle to zoom into my right hand, but take a look, and hopefully you can see this. Now you got this. All right, so watch. I'm playing these here, okay? So I have this. I go like this. Fifth string, fourth string. Okay? So I'm playing pick and fingers, and one of the reasons why I like to do that, one of the main reasons, is it keeps me close to all these bass notes, right? So I'm not jumping like this. Right? You can do it that way too. I know Alex Lifeson, he doesn't do that, okay? And I love the guy. He's a great guitar player and a real nice guy, too. I wish they were still playing. I've seen him several times, Rush. But I do that, and that's okay if you do that as well. So, you watch. Now, I talked a little bit about, we talked about the pick and fingers. We talked a little about the sus4 or the sus2, add 9, okay? You know, chord charts, when you're talking about chords, some people call this, you know, like the C sus2 here, okay? Or they call that a C add 9. What they're talking about is a C chord with a D on it, okay? So you might see that two different ways. I would tend to call this like a sus2 chord. A 9 chord, although it's voiced above the octave, is an extension. It's just more kind of, because you can play that here open as well with that. And to me, I'm going to call that a sus2 chord, okay? A suspended fourth chord, right, is a chord without a third. So when we're on our A7 sus4, has a G in it, right? Second chord of the song, okay? It has that G in it, right? And it has a D in it. It's a chord without a third, a major third. Right? A lot of times in classical music too, especially, it resolves back to the third. But Alex doesn't do that. Lifeson uses a lot of suspended chords. He gets a really great sound, and no, he's a really good guitar player. I mean, of course, you know, all right, he's not as good as Joe Pass and all that, or jazz. But the guy has got some great skill. He's got a great sound and a nice touch. He's he's a very tasty guy. I love the way the guy plays. And if you've ever seen Rush, and I hope you get a chance to see him, it's what are we? 2020. I hope they play again. Neil Peart, of course, passed away last year. Another thing about Neil Peart too, again, being a Rush fan, he got me reading Neil Peart, thinking about philosophy books, and just got me reading a lot of really great books because I know he was a big reader. So I was real inspired by him, and he came in their second album there. But I do have the first album too before Neil. So all right, so I go way back with Rush. We're good friends, me and Rush. And guys, we're not. All right. So we have that, and we talked about picking fingers. Now, let's go over to the next part. All right. But first, I'll play this again so you can hear what I'm doing, and we'll recap everything later. We're going to go over to the chorus because I've seen people teach this, and I'm not knocking them. I play this a little bit differently. They're jumping from here to here, but let's take a listen to that first one. 2, 2, 3, 4. So that's the verse, and he does that again. Then it goes into the solo. I'm not going to teach you the solo. We'll save that for another time because I don't really know this. I kind of know it. I can fake it and sound pretty good and pick up a lot of parts. I don't know it note for note. I mean, we can talk about that another time, or else we'd be here for like 3 hours. All right, so let's continue. We talked about that, and we're going to go over to here, and we're going to talk about some inversions and triads in the chorus section. So remember the chords here, you go back, okay, and review here on the live stream and see what I did for that. All right, now we're going into the chorus. He takes this shape of a G chord, and he brings it up to here, okay, and we're going to zoom in a little bit, and brings it up to 7th position, okay. That would be a G chord, and you can put that D in there. Okay? And of course, this is a G chord here. Okay? Or maybe it is a G chord. Or maybe you play that G chord like that. There's a lot of ways to play the same chord. I'm not going to go over all these different versions. Well, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Let's get most of that fretboard in there. Okay? All right. So we're going to take this from here. I'm going to come up here at my chorus. Now, you could say that's an inversion of a D chord, and an inversion is taking the elements of the chord and flipping them around, okay? They're not being produced from the lower note. Let's say G is the lower note, and the chord theoretically is built G, B, D, okay? Well, theoretically, this chord is not built that way. This chord is, G chord there in that position. So when you do this, it's D, open D, then you have a D again, then a G and a B, okay? That's the first part of the chorus. Now, he goes to a D chord. I see I'm not knocking people, okay? But they do this and they go back to, I don't think it goes like that. And this is much smoother. I mean, you could go here, but it'll sound fine harmonically. Watch. This is a little G chord, comes from this bar form if you play his guitar. All right, so here's a little D chord. Not really an inversion, but it's a triad. And we talked about inversions and triads, and it's a little triad. D, F sharp, A. And a triad is, I would say a chord in its most basic form consisting of a root, in the case of a G chord, a D, a third, F sharp, and a fifth, A. So there's your triad meaning three. And he does this little triad, and it's really a lot easier to get to than jumping around. So we have this, watch. 3, 4, 1. Okay? Then he's going to jump back here into a C, it's kind of C bass line thing, okay? Again, 3. Now this is a syncopation. That's another one of our concepts here. We're talking about syncopation. It's not huge syncopation, but we're coming in on the and of 1. Ready? 2, 3, 4, 1. See, that's a syncopated rhythm. 1, bum, 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 bum. Okay? So you want to feel that out, and you can listen to me, and we'll play it really slow. So, and this is interesting because the way Gaddy sings it and the way Alex plays it, he's kind of going along with the melody in a sense. And, Gaddy Lee plays bass like that too. He's super melodic. I mean, great player. I think he's a great player. And he's so busy in concert playing things with his feet and keyboards and singing and playing bass. So there's something to watch. They're very busy in a open space way, but not overly busy. But you got to be full in a trio. They got a real full sound. I would say the least busiest is Alex, but he plays really nice open sounding chords. I mean, when he solos, of course he's busy. That's his time to take it away. Okay, Neil putting down those grooves, and Gaddy really tight on the bass with his vocals. Okay, let's go from here again. So here's your chorus. 3, 4, 1. Now, what you do is you jump. What I do, anyways, I jump back to this second position here. Remember, this is up in 7th position. Okay. So we have this. Play a bass line. Okay? So you got this. Open. Then a little chord. Now this gets tricky. This is just here. And the reason I'm doing this for a reason, I don't know, other people play it. I watch some other people play it. I'm always thinking, let me set this up. Okay, let me set this up because I'm going somewhere else with this. All right, we're going to show you that in a second. So watch from here. Triad. So think of fly by night away from. Now, I play this here. Then he does that fill. And the reason why I'm doing this is we're going to come all the way up here. All right? And you see this here? You're going to play that. I'm doing an octave here with this. All right? And that's the da-da. So you have this nice and slow, right? Sorry. Up. And that's tricky. It's quick. I see people going like this. Do what you want. But that's taking you further up, and you got to jump further, go up further. Go to here. Sorry, just these two. You got to go further this way and come back further to this. It goes from here to here. So I just think I'm setting this up. My 4th finger's here, and I'm doing this octave 1, 4 with this. Okay? That's up in 12th position. So you have this. Oops. Up. See that? And again. Now this is interesting. Again, I just hear some different things in here at different times when we play that. So let's go to the second part of the chorus, which he starts out on this again here, okay? So here I have this, again syncopated, 3, 4, 1. that's what I'm hearing, okay? It's very tough to hear this. I don't know in the transcription. I actually have a transcription of this. It doesn't sound right to me, okay? 3, 4, watch. So he stays on this D chord, and he just plays these open strings. So the first part is almost identical to this, the second part is almost identical to the first part of the chorus, right? So we have this. Then I wait and I go to this. I come in on the and to 2 here. That's just how I feel it. And I know the chord is supposed to be on 3, the A chord, according to the transcription. But it sounds fine if you get it in there. And, you know, Gaddy's playing a lot of stuff there, and Neil's rolling. So that just works for me, and hopefully it'll work for you. So let's take a look at that second part. So I got this, 3, 4, 1, 2, oh, sorry. 3, 4, 1. Get something that you can play, but definitely keep this. And this is all a D chord. It's really D to A. Right? 3, 4, 1. Again, slower. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. When you get to this A chord, there's your capo, your bar again. Open. That's all he's doing there. Open. This becomes a quick G chord. Yeah, D, G, B. So you're playing this, right? So again, let's take a look. I'll play this from here. You can strum it. Okay? So again, you have this. Up. All right, then again. Now we'll go to the third time. So the third time is similar to the first. Right? Then you play a full G. So instead of going like this, 3, 4, 1. And jumping up, you stay and you play that big G chord. 3, 4, 1. Open, big G, break it. He gives it a little bit, it's quick, but a little, okay? Back 2. All right? So now that we're doing that, let's play it up to there, and then I'll go through the first 2 verses. All right, and then we'll go into the bridge. I don't know, maybe I might play the solo. So let me back out a little bit. Be patient. Give it 5 seconds to back out, folks. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. that's that. So I messed the solo up a little bit. I know a little bit better, but sorry. All this stuff going on here. So I'll play it again. I'll nail the solo down a little better second time, I think. Sorry. All right. I wasn't expecting to play it. I just went into it. Got to be ready for everything. All right. So the other thing, so we talked about syncopation. We talked about picking fingers, the sus4, the sus2 chord, the inversions, triads, syncopation. We talked about all that. Right? And one of the other concepts, that's something else I wanted to talk to you about, is the sweep picking, okay? So he does, when he plays this, it's like, it's not that big of a deal, right? In the end of the chorus there. So he does some sweep picking, and he does that in the solo too. So just like when you're playing something, you can do this as well. This is sweeping, sweep picking, and picking fingers. I'm just sweeping this. Okay, so you have this. So there's a number of ways you can play this. Bailey was talking about at that end, at the chorus, a big arpeggiando, okay? It's a strum, but it's a slow strum. It's like a sweep. You do this. Now, I'm not saying, I'm telling you what works for me. Use your pick and fingers, do that. Use a pick, use all your fingers. You can play this if you like playing fingers, right? There's a number, or you could just use a classical style as well, okay? Let's go into the bridge, and my sixth concept is talking about effects here. So let's go over to that bridge, and we'll talk about that there, okay? I know it, but I just have my music there. Okay, so after the solo, all right, and you got to realize the form of this. You want to, of course, listen to the song. You got the intro. They come in, do two of those progressions. Then it goes into the chorus, okay? And then he goes back. He plays the that verse, the verse chords, and then he goes back to the verse. Then a solo, all right? Then a chorus, Fly By Night. Now, where are we after that? Solo, then you have a chorus again, right? And now you're at the bridge. And what we're going to do in the bridge, again, we're doing inversions. And I'm going to show you what he does here, all right? I'll keep it zoomed in a little bit more, but not that much, okay? All right, so we'll take that again. Now, we're talking about effects here as well, okay? If I move over this way, that's better. Maybe. We'll try that. Need to use my new camera here, okay? Yeah, that works too. Okay, let's take a look here now. All right, I'm talking about effects. What am I using? What do I think Alex is using? I think Alex is using on this. He's using this part. He's using some kind of phase shifter. Okay, not exactly sure, but what I'm doing is I'm using the MXR 95 mini phase, which is both a 45 and a 90. Okay, and then what am I using? The 90, the 4-stage, I believe I'm using on this. Okay, with the script on, and that cuts the feedback. So I'm using more of the older style one. And go check this mini phase out. I love this MXR mini phase, but I'll put it on. And so you have this sound, okay? Now, what he's doing in here is, it's all arpeggio and sweep picking, arpeggiations of the chord, right? You take that G chord, you slide it up to here. Now it's an F chord. It's kind of like the chorus, right? We're taking this shape and moving it up. So that's my F chord. A G, right? Back to that G again there. Then I have this. That's a C chord, see it? From this bar form. Then he arpeggiates on this. I'm in the YouTube thing there. So you have this. Okay, so this is all arpeggio picking. Let's take that again. Up. Then once you get to this D chord, okay, you want arpeggio, pick that. Do you have to do it exactly how he does it? Well, you don't have to. Get the chords. Listen to the phase shifter, though. I'm going to back out so you can see this a little better, see what I'm doing. Okay? We'll just leave it about here. Now what do? You go over to here. This is an A minor. We're going to do this A minor here. Sorry, I'm not on an A minor. Okay? You want this here, 2 and 1. You hear that phase shifting? Nice sound, right? And he plays this part softer. So we have this here. And I'm picking this, if you can see, I'm picking this 1, first string, second string, third string, first string, second, open, okay? And then from that point, you go to the F chord. When you play the F chord, it's if you put your third finger, you're on the A minor chord, if you put your third finger down on this string here, you see that? Put your third finger down, that is an F chord. Then he goes up and he strums this, G triad. Now this is kind of interesting too. Takes that F chord, strums that right up to here, right? Then you have this, which is, it's a D, like a D sus chord with a 11 in it. You want, if you take a C shape and you move it up to here, it's kind of a odd sounding. But then he gets right off it. So you're taking this C shape, you play a C chord here, if you know C chord, he's playing that in the third position, which in that part becomes a D. So there's your D, and then you move it up to here, all right? And then that would be that's a G chord. Back to a G chord. It's like he puts his fourth finger here. So remember this C shape. Let me play it from that A minor. What I do when I go to this G chord is I strum a G. Play a D. I'm already on that chord. Then I just make that C shape, which is here, up to a G. Again, you have some syncopation there. All right. Let's take the whole section up there. All right. That whole bridge part. Ready? 3, 4. Again. Then back to the chorus, all right? So you got to listen for the syncopated, and when you're coming from this F chord here in fifth, he plays that D. Now that's your introduction to the G chord. Let's take it from the F chord. Hear it? Da 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 da. So again, work on these shapes, work on them slow. I'll play it again from the beginning of the bridge. Nice and slow. You could use a pick too. I could do it with a pick, or I could do a pick and fingers or whatever, and I'm versatile. Okay. But I suggest you find what's comfortable for you and how you do these things. And then once you get comfortable with one mic, try it a few different ways. Try, well, I'll use it all pick. I'll use pick and fingers. I'll do it all finger style. Right? So it's good to be able to do all these things and practice all different types of finger style with a pick and fingers, because you're going to find different sounds and different tones and things of that nature. Okay? And if you're like me and you drop your pick a lot, you got to learn to use your fingers. All right. Let me spell. So what can I tell you? All right, from here. So I'll use all pick. 3 and 4 and. Then the chorus. Da 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 da. Fly by night away from. Okay, and of course you have the ending, you have a tag ending. So there's a lot going on in this song. I can talk a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about the tag ending. Okay, I just want to mention I'm using that MXR 95 mini phase. I'm also using a amp tweaker Tight Pro. I love their stuff. Tight Drive Pro, and I hope it sounds good through the stream. Again, it's tough getting the audio you want, and I'm always working on it. And hopefully it sounded good, between the backing tracks and everything else, and getting your sound down. And it sounds good in the studio, but then you listen to the, you always test this, you listen to the stream, test stream, you're like, oh my God. So you got to always tweak this, and hopefully it's coming out good. Let's talk a little bit about the end, because you have a kind of tag, and then he goes back to the chorus. So you got to listen to the form. What I'm saying is he does the chorus, and then he goes, bye bye night, right? And back to. He goes back to the chorus, right? So what's he doing in that tag? Well, we know the chords from the beginning. He's going. It's just playing A and let it hang. He doesn't do this, right? He goes right from that G. So you're not going back to the full part of the verse, using the second half of those verse chords, right? So let's take the first half of the chorus, right? I mean the last part of the chorus, so big G chord. Sorry. Now. Then he goes back to the chorus. Fly. Whole chorus. Now at the very end, okay, he goes. One more time, then you end it. And you listen to it and you can hear it. You know all the parts, you got to do a lot of listening, right? And hopefully you understand that. I guess I could, a long live stream here, but that's okay. I'll try to play the whole thing from the beginning. I'll try to do a better job on the solo. And like I said, I didn't learn it note for note, but I kind of have it in my head a little bit. And so we'll try it. Ready? And it's a print, I hope. Okay. I enjoy doing this. I always enjoy doing these. It's always interesting to do this live. Wow, we're almost going on an hour. Okay, but I got the camera plugged in. So glad you watched. Hope you're out there watching. I got a couple shout outs I didn't forget. Okay, I got my good trusty old 2 students, and that would be Leo. I'm not going to mention their last names, and happy birthday to him. That was last night, and my good old student Sanaya there, and happy birthday to her. It is December 11th, and 44 years ago, in 1976, I was at a Rush concert. So it was great, and they did play this song because that was their, right after their 2112 tour, they did, what was it, All the World's a Stage, and it just, they finished that, but they were still doing their 2112, so kind of still was their 2112 tour, because they played a lot of that stuff too, and they played a lot of other things as well. All right, and I hope you enjoyed the live stream. Join me next week, and of course your my call to action here is, yeah, what am I going to do next week? I'm not sure. You know, I was doing some of the alternative stuff. Seems like a lot of people watched that one, and I hope you enjoyed the new camera here. I know focus-wise it looks a lot better. I got to get used to zooming in and zooming out a little bit more. Playing around with the lighting. Hope the lighting looks pretty good. And that's that. So please sign up for my Play Like a Pro video courses at String Sound Studios. We have the Pure Beginning Guitar course, Beginning Blues course, and a whole bunch of other things. And the audio and, well, I'm not saying this is bad, but I think the audio on the professionally done things, it's tough with the stream. You're limited by the stream too. I can get the audio as good as I can, and I hope the stream technology gets better, and this way everything else will get better. But yeah, do a good job on those. So just look at all those courses, okay? And sign up for a mailing list, whatever, String Sound Studios, and let me know what musical topics you would like me to do. Please follow us on all our social media. And I hope to see you next week. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but chime in and check our calendar. All right, and remember, play like a pro at String Sound Studios.
At String Sound Studios.